Hey everyone, it's me. I want to talk about what happens when you reconnect with a loved one that's been separated from you through parental alienation or through, them passing from this earth or whatever. And I'm not talking about a face to face, like when you're awake. I'm talking about when you have a dream about your loved one, that someone you've been longing and longing to see. And it's almost like your dying wish, or it's on your bucket list that you do anything to see that person again. So my dreams, my vivid dreams where I reconnect with people, always happen after I wake up in the morning, which happens every morning. My now husband wakes me up every morning around 5 o'clock to tell me he loves me, and he just have a good day and gives me a hug and a kiss, and then he takes off, and then I fall back to sleep for like an hour or two or three. So it's during the second portion of my sleep that I always have vivid dreams about family members that have passed. And that includes my dad, who passed about 10 years ago. And then I also have vivid dreams about my children. And when you first disconnect from your children, or they alienate you, the dreams are sometimes the only way you reconnect with them. So initially the dreams are really difficult, and they're still difficult because when you're finally reunited with someone and it feels so real, and you have a moment with them and you talk, and you come to an understanding, or they allow you to see them. My dream just yesterday, it took me a day to make this video, but what had happened was, as my husband woke me up, told me he loved me, and gave me a hug and kissed and left for work, I fell back to sleep, and I dreamt that my youngest daughter and I were together, and we were reconnecting, and she actually asked me to watch my grandkids, so, to be a part of their, babysitting them or watching them or whatever. And I just remember how joyful I felt to be asked to be, to watch them and spend time with them. And not only that, but to spend time with my daughter. And when you first separate from someone you love, that you want so desperately to connect with, and you wake up from one of these dreams, it's almost like your heart is being ripped out, and you're praying, please just let me get back to sleep. Just let me be with my kids again. Please just let me fall back into exactly where I was a moment ago. And it doesn't happen. And it's almost like your heart is being ripped out of your chest. And it's almost a cruel joke. And so the first time I had a dream about my dad after he had passed, I woke up and I was sobbing because I didn't get enough time with him. And when it first starts happening, it's almost like you're grieving again, and you're grieving that loss, and it's very overwhelming. And over time, I'd say over time it gets a little bit easier, because when you wake up from your dream and you really miss your child, but then you realize that after you've loved your child and they have chosen to separate and have chosen to disconnect and alienate you, and then you go through a lot of different emotions. You go through anger, you go through a feeling of hatred, a feeling of guilt, degradation, uh, neglect. You go through that feeling that you're not good enough. And I just want to say, I was watching this thing. It's the new series with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, The Talk or News or something like that. And there's a part in there where Jennifer Aniston goes to her daughter's, I think it's her college dorm. I only saw this on YouTube. And her daughter looks annoyed and doesn't want to see her. And she says F you to her daughter, because she finally says what she wanted to say to her daughter. And uh, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, just F you. I can't say I was a perfect parent, but holy Christ. It's funny how you can love and miss someone so much and then just be so incredibly angry at the same time, and just say screw this and F you. And And how dare you treat me this way? Because if you think a parent who loved you and raised you and wanted you deserves to be treated this way, I wow, you will never know. A majority of children will never know what abuse is, and will never understand what it's like to be raised in a home by someone who treated them just as a less than human being, and who didn't feed them and starve them and beat them and torture them. Wow. The thing is the more we give our children, and I truly believe when your children are raised in a household with love and they are given what they want or a majority of what they ask for within reason, it's almost like you're a piece of furniture. They walk past you and all you're good for is to give them more and more and more. And I did my best. And I'm not going to be guilted and shamed into doing things a certain way. I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. And yet, once in a while, I still have my dreams. So you go through your emotions, and you go through your feelings, and you go through the happiness you enjoy you feel when you're with them, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, geez, not again. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. Is when you reconnect with someone and it normally is in your dreams, they are joyful and then you're excited and you get to spend time with your kid and you wake up and you're like, oh, oh, jeez, don't, like what Homer Simpson said. So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope everyone's having a great day. And, if you have dreams about your children, sometimes, it's a great thing. And a lot of times it's just heart-wrenching. And I think a lot of us would rather just see our children and have relationships with them than dream about them once in a while. But only relationship anyone should have, any decent person should have, is a decent and healthy relationship. So I hope this video helps someone. Took me a couple of days to make this video simply because I was struggling, and I'm trying to get back on track, and hopefully next time I can dream about my dad or my Nana who passed away last year and a half. So I hope everyone's having a good day, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.